Hello newbies, this is Suspect Amy, and I'm here to do a quick video about how Epic 7 pulled off a huge turnaround and absolutely outplayed their upstart competitor, Etheria Restart. Let's rewind to 3 months ago. Epic 7 had reported some of its lowest revenue in a long time, while a brand new gacha game called Etheria Restart had just launched, raking in a whopping $7 million. Now, new gachas hit the App Store all the time, so what does Etheria Restart have to do with Epic 7? It's because Etheria Restart was aiming for the exact market that Epic 7 had dominated for years, the turn-based PvP gacha category. But Etheria Restart wasn't just a clone. It came out on day one with real improvements over the competition. It had things players had been begging Epic 7 to add for ages, like the ability to unequip gear without paying resources, more inventory space, and equipment loadouts. Summons were also way more player-friendly, with an 80 pull pity instead of Epic 7's 120. The amount of summon currency you received every week was quite ridiculous, so every player pretty much had every RGB hero available within a month. And you didn't need to summon for artifacts, you could farm them directly from PvE content. Speaking of PvE, Etheria launched with a ton of it. It was fresh, different, and players who zoomed to late game had a good challenge on their hands. A lot of this content could be farmed offline, and you can log in later to reap the rewards without tying up your phone. Gear was significantly better too. At launch, there were 21 equipment sets compared to Epic 7's 18, offering more flexibility and variety in playstyles. Even better, the roll ranges for upgrading gear were tiny, between 2 and 3%. So you didn't risk turning a perfect piece of gear into garbage just by upgrading it, unlike Epic 7. PvP was also solid. Etheria had its own take on Guild Wars, plus offline and live arena. Content creators jumped in, running regular $2,000 tournaments, and the developer even launched a World Championship event just months after release. Most importantly, the devs actively communicated with their player base. They sat down with content creators, released videos addressing concerns, and often pushed hotfixes within a week or two. That kind of responsiveness is almost unheard of in gachas, especially compared to Epic 7, where developer communication had basically vanished. But here's the twist. Etheria's revenue has tanked since launch, down 51% the next month, then an additional 43% drop last month. Players are leaving in droves, and many who left Epic 7 for Etheria have come back. So what happened? 2 things. The first issue has to do with how Etheria handled their own game, compared to Epic 7. Many of the features that looked good on paper were either poorly implemented or just flat out not fun. It really seems like someone had an idea for some game mode, and they just developed it without any play testing or sense of game economy. Guild Wars in Epic 7 is probably the most fun content in the game. Etheria's version of Guild Wars was similar, but I can honestly say that every way they changed it made it significantly worse. It would have been a blast if they just copied Epic 7 directly here. Having 21 equipment sets combined with brutal gear farming was a disaster in game design. Farming for artifacts or shells also felt terrible, because the resource and time costs were insanely high. On top of that, the hero pool was tiny, and it took a month to max the skills on a single unit, which snowballed into a poor experience in both PvE and PvP. The PvP meta was very stale, and players found out that PvE content wasn't actually challenging. It just depended on whether you had the right units built. If you didn't, you were locked out. Like me, I refused to waste resources building this stupid rat boy, and because of that, I can't farm certain gear. The devs also made rookie mistakes. They'd take multiple patches to fix the same issue, or hype up a new hero as the answer to a certain boss only for it to flop. And finally, while the PvE content was fresh and fun when it first launched, it quickly became a huge pain point when players had to repeat it over and over every week or month, especially considering how long it took. The second reason that Etheria is sinking has more to do with how Epic 7 responded to it. After Etheria's launch, Epic 7 came out guns blazing, mainly through real developer communication. We got several videos from the devs apologizing for their absence and promising a new era of regular roadmaps and transparency. They showed us how they're listening and talked about ways they're looking to improve game modes players aren't happy with. They announced changes like removing the cost to unequipped gear, adding a system to revert to old equipment loadouts, increasing inventory size, adding new equipment sets, introducing a new gear rarity with smaller roll ranges, and brand new late-game PvE content. This new content should supercharge farming. Running it just 3 times will give you the same rewards as 72 runs of older farms, a genius way to reduce fatigue and let players dive straight into using new sets. Unlike Etheria Restart, I get the impression that Epic 7 heavily playtests their ideas for fun factor, and really considers the impact on game economy and player fatigue before implementing them. On top of that, Epic 7 ran a 2-month Epic Dash event that handed out a ridiculous number of free heroes and summons, and then they dropped a bombshell, an upcoming collab with arguably one of the best anime series in the last decade, Frieren. I have no idea how a low-revenue 6-year-old gacha game landed a collab like this, but it's extremely impressive and honestly, downright shocking. While the Epic Dash summoning event was going strong in Epic 7, Etheria Restart started going the opposite direction, removing the summon currency from one of the shops. Now, since Epic 7 is my main game, I'll admit I'm a little biased, but honestly, I'm glad Etheria Restart came along. It lit a fire under Epic 7 and made the community feel alive again. While Epic 7's revenue isn't skyrocketing, they've made smart, calculated moves that brought players back and blunted their competition. To be clear, I genuinely think Etheria Restart is still headed in the right direction. Their game is constantly getting better. Unfortunately, they just got outplayed by Epic 7. For now, I plan to continue playing it casually as my second gacha game so I can see how the future unfolds. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye, everyone.